I welcome I welcome you all the viewers for this session on MMPH 001 Block 1 related to organizational theory and design. Under this block, we have three units. So the first unit, second unit have already been covered. I have discussed in detail as per the requirement. Now let us go to unit 3, which is on the topic organizational effectiveness. I am Professor Sudhir Patra, going to present this discussion before you for your clear understanding. This organizational effectiveness, why it is important? All of us know that in order to make the organization efficient to achieve the purpose, we must ensure the effectiveness in the organization so that all different types of work performed by different employees working in different departments will be able to complete their work in time so that the required purpose can be achieved in the appropriate time. So now, going into different types of objectives, some of the important objectives are related to the consideration of important understanding about the effectiveness so that the employees can have proper understanding to perform their work as per the requirement in time so that the purpose can be achieved. So first of all, we have to know what is the concept of organizational effectiveness. That will be discussed in detail. Next objective is to find out different approaches to evaluate organizational effectiveness. Then we should also consider the limitations of evaluating effectiveness. Let us go to the structure relating to this organizational effectiveness. First of all, there is introduction. So in the introduction, we'll have some idea about the unit 3 for organizational effectiveness. Then under this, after knowing the introduction, we have some discussion relating to effectiveness models. So which models should be considered for ensuring effectiveness in the organization should be known so that these models are helpful to maintain, to ensure required effectiveness. Then there will be discussion on determinants of effectiveness. So what are the determinants which actually helps in determining the required effectiveness in the organization so that the organizational purpose goal can be achieved. Then there are certain steps for effectiveness so that if the steps are taken, if the actions are taken as per the steps, then automatically there will be effectiveness. Then after taking steps, after taking actions required for the performance of work related to the effectiveness, there should be proper evaluation of effectiveness, because unless there is proper evaluation, the organization leaders cannot know whether the effectiveness is as per requirement or there is some deviation or some requirements in the development modification is required. That should be considered under evaluation of effectiveness. Then next discussion will be related to approaches for evaluation. You know that there are different approaches which should be considered for evaluating the organizational effectiveness properly for the organization concerned. Then there are different people practices. People practices will be told to you in detail how this can be helpful in ensuring the effectiveness in different organizations. Next one is related to workforce capabilities. Workforce capabilities. So all of us know that workforce is required to perform the work to ensure in the quality of work. So in order to have required workforce, we must know about the capabilities which should be clearly known to the leaders. Next, key performance drivers. There are certain key performance drivers which help in the maintenance of organizational effectiveness. There should be efficient process. All of us know that if a particular process, required process, appropriate process is followed for any work in any department, automatically that process will be helpful for the efficient performance of the work concerned. Next, product and service output. So in different organizations, we know that different types of products are produced in manufacturing organizations specifically, and in case of service organization providing different kinds of service, they also require organizational effectiveness so that in both the cases, whether it is product or service, the output, the result is satisfactory as per the purpose. The next one is related to organizational effectiveness, which I have already told you that if we find out certain points, follow certain points relating to organizational effectiveness, that will also be helpful for the efficient management. Next, there are different strategies which should be followed for maintaining, for ensuring effectiveness in different organizations. Next, there is to be proper work on quality services. So why quality services? Because different services, if are as per the required quality, automatically there will not be any satisfaction on the part of the customers. So there should be quality services available as per the organizational effectiveness. Then there should be use of technology. We know that technology is important for any organizations. Different techniques are followed for operations of the machines, for performance of different office work. So this use of technology appropriate for the performance of work, availability of machines, availability of technicians should also be considered. Next, there should be building of effective branch. If the organization is having number of branches, then the head office as well as the branch offices should have proper effectiveness in the organization. Then there should be some procedure which should be followed for maintaining effectiveness, that should be known for better understanding. Next, let us go to the introduction part. Here under this introduction, we must know that the organizational effectiveness is a complex process which can be defined or diagnosed or identified and should be evaluated precisely. So why it is complex process? Because in the organization we have number of activities, number of departments, different types of people. So different types of methods, systems, plans, programs. So automatically it becomes a complex process and it should be clearly defined, identified and evaluated so that the employees concerned can know and accordingly maintain organizational effectiveness. There have been attempts to develop general characteristics of effective organization. Some attempts have already been made to develop different general characteristics, but there are some specific situations where there cannot be generalization. So in order to have specific activity in some specific situations for some specific organizations, one should be very careful. Then the determinants of effectiveness being several, it is rather difficult to isolate them as to their precise impact or effectiveness. So we cannot identify, we can differentiate, we cannot separate the effectiveness related to the impact or effectiveness because the determinants are different. Then there is no appropriate criteria to evaluate effectiveness. So there are various criteria which are considered by different organizations for different purposes. So we can say there is no specific criteria for evaluation of effectiveness. It is also related to the purpose of evaluation and the choice of preference by the concerned organizations. Next, let me tell you about the effectiveness models. So from the beginning, I have already told under the structure that different models are developed and followed and implemented in the organization for the organizational effectiveness. What are these models? First one is goal model. This goal model means accomplishment of the goals of different organizations. And in this model, we find there is measurement of only output, not input or processes adopted by the organization. So there is separate from the process or input, but emphasis is given on the goal to be achieved through organizational effectiveness. Then second model is related to internal process. This internal process model doesn't look at the outcome but depends on the internal process of the organization. This model focuses more on efficiency rather on effectiveness with importance on internal process rather on outcome. So we know that if the process is effective and the employees are efficient, as per the adoption of this model, which is called internal process model, then automatically the outcome of the result will also be appropriate. So instead of giving importance to the outcome as per the first model, if different organizations give importance to this internal process model to make it efficient, then automatically the effectiveness of the organization can be assured. Then next model is resource-based model. It requires availing resources needed for high performance. This model looks at achievement of competitive advantage depending on the resources which are valuable. So all of us know that different resources are required for the organization. Financial resources, manpower resources, material resources, etc., which are important for the organizational effectiveness. So if all these resources are available, are acquired, are implemented, are utilized for the performance work, then automatically the result will be satisfactory, and this is helpful in the achievement of a competitive advantage depending on the resources which are available. So competitive advantage, that means the advantage benefits available in comparison to other competitors, similar organizations, then automatically this will help the present organization in comparison to competitive organizations to have some advantage, and that may depend on the resources available and utilization. The next model is related to the strategic constituency model. So as what the name indicates, in different models we find some names and accordingly we can explain as per the name. Here in this strategic constituency model, we find that this model is followed to measure effectiveness through satisfaction by successful implementation of strategy for the survival of the organization. and for organizational effectiveness. So now strategic requirement, strategic model. What is that strategic model? We know that in different organizations, for different departments, for different purposes, for different functions, there are formulation of strategies and implementation of strategies to achieve the purpose in time as per the requirement. So this strategy, the course of action prepared and followed by different organizations through satisfaction and implementation will be helpful for the organizational effectiveness and survival or continuity of the organization. The next model is known as stakeholder model. It relates to satisfaction of the stakeholders of the organization like employees, customers, suppliers, contractors, etc. So those who are involved in the organizational work and interested in the effectiveness, they should be satisfied. And how they can be satisfied? If this effectiveness can be ensured, continued for different organizations, and by that the employees, customers, suppliers, contractors, and other stakeholders are benefited, are satisfied. The next model is competing value model. So what is competing value model? It refers to the presence of simultaneous actions regarding its customers, employees, innovations, and initiatives. This model measures the effectiveness based on reconciliation of these competing values. So the values mentioned here relating to customers, employees, innovation, and initiatives. Suppose analyze these four important components or competing values. First of all, customers. The customers are important because if the customers are satisfied, are provided with required quality goods and services, then automatically there will be continuity in the demand and continuity in the increase in profit and development of the organization. So the employees who are working in the organization, they should be given importance because if they are satisfied, that automatically they will help in the better performance, timely performance of the work, efficiency can be increased, and by that quality of work or service will be increased. Then going to next part, innovations. Innovations relates to some new ideas, new methods, new procedures, new products, new techniques, etc. So if there can be innovation, then automatically that will be helpful in producing new design products with more facilities, more benefits to attract the customers, and by that the organization will be benefited. There can be organizational effectiveness. And initiatives. So different employees working in the organization should have proper initiative, interest to do the work, and by that they will be able to perform the work as per requirement to achieve the purpose. So we can say that this model measures the effectiveness based on reconciliation of these competing values. Reconciliation means there should be adjustment, there should be interrelationship, there should be proper coordination, and by that the organization effectiveness can be ensured. Next, abundance model. This abundance model considers the effectiveness depending on realization of abundant potential on human system in organization. So all of us know that human resource is very important. Human resource should be capable. Human resource should be appropriate. So in the organization, in order to have effectiveness, if we realize that there is abundant potential, sufficient potential of the human beings working in the organization as the employees, automatically we can be able to achieve the purpose. So that's why this abundance model is given importance for the effectiveness of the organization. Then let us go to the determinants of effectiveness. So there are certain determinants. I'm going to explain or discuss some of the important determinants for ensuring effectiveness, and these are causal, intervening, and end result determinants. So let us see these three important determinants of effectiveness. So these causal variables are those factors which influence the course of developments within an organization. They include management strategies, structure, style, skill, policies, procedures, etc. So when these variables, because strategies are variable, structure may be variable, styles are variable, skills of employees may be variable, different policies followed may be variable, procedures are variable. So these are different variables should be given importance, and on the basis of variables there can be evaluation of the effectiveness. So we can say these important determinants and independent variables within the control of organization and its management should be considered as very significant. Then next one is intervening variable. As the word indicates, intervening, this variable is related to the factors which represent the internal state of organization. They include, or these variables include such aspects like commitment to objectives, morale, and motivation of employees, decision making and problem solving approaches, communication, group cohesion, etc. These causal variables like leadership style and behavior affect the intervening variables identified in this model, under this model. So let us see these words separately. In case of commitment to objectives, when we find the employees are committed to achieve the objectives, then automatically there can be organizational effectiveness. Then the moral motivation found with the employees can be helpful to ensure effectiveness in the organization. So it is also called intervening variable as determinant of effectiveness. Similarly, different decision making and problem solving approaches. So in the organization, different important decisions are taken in time as per requirement. Different problems are also solved with different solutions. So when decision making and problem solving approaches are taken and found appropriate, then we may ensure that the organizational effectiveness can also be available as per this determinant. Then there may be certain communication. As we know, communication is effective because if different instructions, orders, policies, procedures, methods, systems, rules, regulations are not properly communicated in the organization, then employees cannot know and there cannot be systematic performance as per the requirement. In addition to this, we find that it should be group cohesion. So different groups working in the organization in different departments should have good relationship. Different employees working in different groups in different departments, different sections should have proper cooperation and coordination in the work. By that, there can be effectiveness. So in this way, we find there can be some leadership styles which are also variable, and the behavior of the leaders, behavior of the employees are also variable. So all these intervening variables should be considered as determinant to identify the effectiveness in the organization. Then third one is end result variable. So what is this end result variable? It reflects the results accomplished by the organizations. As the word or meaning of the word indicates end result, so automatically it is related to the end result. The output should be measured in terms of production, sales, net profit, etc. So how we can measure the output, result, goal achievement of the organization? This may be stated in terms of production, quantity of production, quality of production, etc. Sales figure, sales target achieved during a specific period, maybe month, maybe year, etc. Similarly, the net profit on the basis of different activities available to the organization, maybe annual or half yearly, should be considered. Then the interrelationship among these three variables acting upon the organization, intervening variables and end result, etc., are to be maintained to ensure effectiveness in the organization. So all these determinants should be considered important for the effectiveness. Then let us go to the steps for effectiveness. So there may be various steps. We cannot define specific steps, but in general I can say you that these steps are important to have rationale for selecting the appropriate procedure for evaluating effectiveness in a comparative perspective as per the set established goals, norms, past performance, and procedure of other comparable organizations. So here are those so many words. We must give importance related to different steps for the achievement of the established goals, for the following of norms, standards, etc. And we must ensure or analyze the past performance for the future and see or verify what is the procedure followed in the organization and what is the procedure followed in the competitive organization. For the purpose of effectiveness, the following significant actions should be taken for the organization. So there are so many actions I'm going to discuss in subsequent paragraphs. So there are different roles of executives which become very important in making organization effective according to the established procedures. So these procedures effective for the organization as per the standards fixed should be followed under different steps, under different actions for the organization. Let us go to different approaches for evaluation. So there cannot be any specific approach or specific number of approaches for the evaluation of organizational effectiveness, as there are many different approaches for different organizations which may vary, which may be different according to the nature, size of the organization. Most approaches have strengths and suffer from certain weaknesses. We know that there is a term called SWOT analysis, S for strength, W for weakness, O for opportunity, and T for threat. So this SWOT analysis is helpful for evaluation of the organizational effectiveness and can be considered under the approaches. So different strengths, financial strength, infrastructural strength, then human resource strength, like this different types of strength can be helpful for the efficiency of the organization, and that should be given importance. In addition to this, the weaknesses of the organization should be removed by identifying such weaknesses in different departments, in different sections, lying with different employees, lying with methods, systems, etc. However, it is useful as a strategy to focus on a particular key or critical referent or variable and analyze effectiveness on a limited aspect of the organization based on certain prior choices. So let us see how the critical key factors, key variables, which should be analyzed to determine the effectiveness and with certain limitations based on certain priority choices. We should give priority, which variable is important, and first of all, that should be taken care of. Like this, we on the basis of priority, we can take care of different variables. This will also make the exercise purposive, focused, and meaningful. So the whole exercise related to the evaluation of effectiveness of the organization has certain purpose. So we can say the exercise is purposive, focused on the achievement of the goal, and it has some meaning for the activities, for the procedures, for the plans, programs, etc. The choice may involve some trade-offs, but might reflect a major area of concern or a principal area of thrust. So now we give importance to certain discounts on trade-offs, some certain principles, and certain areas which are thrust areas for the organization. After selecting the effectiveness indicators, it becomes necessary to choose among one or more of several possible approaches stated below. Some of the important approaches stated below for evaluation. First one is goal-centered evaluation. So when we think of goal-centered evaluation, there is comparison of the performance against the stated goal to see what has been accomplished. So goal fixed and goal achieved. There may be difference because as per the standard, if the achievement is different, if there is deviation, then automatically it will create some problem. So the deviation difference in between standard and the actual performance should be found out, identified, and actions taken for improvement. Next one is normative evaluation. So we know there are words, norms, standards, etc., which are established and followed in the organization. If in any organization we find that the actual performance is based on the norms or standards fixed, then there will be successful or effective organization as per the purpose, for the achievement of the purpose or the goal. The next one is time series evaluation. So as the name or the word indicates, time series, there should be comparison of performance of a particular year or the current year with the performance of last one or several years. If we compare the performance in the year 2022 or 2023 and find what has happened in the previous years for the last 5 years, 10 years, etc., then we can know what is deviation and what more is required for the improvement. The next is trade evaluation. Trade evaluation, as the word indicates, meaning of the word indicates, it is the evaluation based on different desired characteristics or traits or qualities found with the employees to perform their work, followed in the organization. Next, comparative evaluation. Here also, the word comparative indicates the performance of competitors should be compared with the performance of the organization. So a business organization, a manufacturing organization may be facing competition from the number of competitors producing, marketing similar products, similar services. Automatically that will affect the present organization. So if there can be comparison of the performance and to find out the requirement in the better performance for the present organization, accordingly the effectiveness can be ensured. Then let us go to another aspect that is related to people practices. So these people practices is considered related to different activities concerned with the people or employees working in the organization. So there are so many points, so many activities found in the human resource department concerned with people or employees, and these practices, activities, etc. relating to the people should be followed properly in the organization for arrangement of the required employees on the basis of their qualification, experience, skill, etc., able to perform the work assigned to them, and different other activities, training activities, development activities to strengthen their capabilities. So in this way, let us see the procedure followed in case of the work performed in the personnel department to have required employees to ensure or strengthen their capabilities. So first, we know, to have required employees available to the organization, then first of all, there should be advertisement through different modes, maybe newspapers, maybe audio, visual media, etc. Then through the advertisements, print or audio visual, which may be successful for the organization, available to the organization, then automatically that advertisement is helpful with the required skill, experience, knowledge, number of posts, salaries, etc., which will be helpful to the person concerned or people to apply for the employment. So in this way, this advertisement is the first step in acquiring the required people. In the second step, there should be proper recruitment of the employees. So how there can be recruitment? This is very common that during recruitment, there may be some written examination, there may be some interview, skill test, etc. are helpful to judge the capability, the requirement of different persons found to be fit to perform the work in the organization. So there are different recruitment procedures followed in different organizations. So it should be effective so that appropriate employees are available in time for the organization to perform their work. Then after the recruitment of employees, there should be appointment, because the employees who are selected on the basis of recruitment, they should be appointed with some orders to join within a fixed date or as per the requirement. Then this appointment may clearly mention the post, the remuneration, etc., which will be helpful to the employees concerned to join in time and perform their work. After the appointment, the employee should be placed in different positions. There may be placement work, placement in different positions, in different departments, in different sections, as per requirement, as per the knowledge, experience, skill, etc. So they know in which position they are going to perform the work. Then there may be training, induction training, improvement training, etc. Induction training is required because the employees should know about the organization detail, different methods, procedures, plans, objectives, goals, etc. So if they can know clearly through induction training, they'll be able to perform their work in time within a short time. Then another function important for the human resource department is reward. We know the services rendered by the employees concerned, that must be properly rewarded through financial, non-financial terms, payment of salaries, allowances on the basis of their appointment or conditions fixed in the organization, so that with the reward they can be motivated to perform the work, continue in the organization, have loyalty towards the organization. So reward may be also in different kinds, either cash, financial, or non-financial, maybe promotion, maybe prize, maybe some other facilities, etc. Then recognition is also important, because if the employees are recognized with their capability, with their efficiency, with the performance of work, with achievement of the target, and in different functions, in different meetings, reward are recognized with some prizes, etc., then automatically there will be effectiveness in the organization. Then let us go to next one, that is workforce capabilities. Workforce capabilities. Why we think of workforce capabilities? Because in the organization there are different categories of employees having different capabilities. So this capability is relating to the performance of a specified work, assigned work, as per the procedure, as per the system, as per the method, can be determined, can be found suitable on the basis of knowledge, qualification, experience, skill, lying with the employee concerned. So from the beginning, the employees concerned may have certain capabilities to perform the work, but with the expansion, with the development in the organizational work, there may be some new activities, increased activities, which are required to be performed by the existing employees. In that case, the existing employees should be properly trained, maybe through different training methods inside the organization or sometimes outside the organization. So this training and development activity should be regularly taken up to increase the capability of different employees to have more efficiency in the performance of work related to the organization. And I have told you at some time that motivation is also important to perform the work in the organization to achieve the required goal. So motivation is one of the important functions of management, as we have known that planning, organization, staffing, direction, coordination, motivation, etc. These are important functions. So if we have all other functions, we have the plan, we have proper organization, we have required staff, we have direction, etc. Then in that case, if all these are available in the organization, then if the employees are not motivated, if the employees don't have interest to do the work, then this will not be helpful in the performance of work as per requirement to achieve the goal. So this motivation function lying with the capabilities of the organization. Is sometimes we find that the employee concerned is having capability, but he is not showing the capability. Why? Because he is not motivated. He is not having interest to do the work. So the interest or motivation should be ensured in the organization through different methods, through different incentives available, through promotion, through reward, recognition, etc., so that the employees concerned can be found to be more capable to perform the work with proper motivation. So thereby, effectiveness of different organizations can be ensured as per the workforce capabilities, increase in the workforce, increase in the capabilities, and increase in the efficiency to perform the work, so that the organizational effectiveness can be more satisfactory in different organizations. So there are some key performance drivers for the organizational effectiveness. What may be the key performance drivers? We know there are different departments in the organization like finance, marketing, HR, legal, production, etc. So the HR department concerned with the employee performance should build required resources and capabilities through different methods adapted in the organization as per requirement. So I have already told you that in order to have competitive advantage over others, over other competitors, the specific organization concerned should have some difference over the competitors. Difference in quality, difference in design, difference in the benefits available, difference in service, so that this organization, in comparison to the competitive organizations, can have some advantage, some extra importance, so that the customers will be attracted to this organization because of this competitive advantage available. And this competitive advantage should be created through the increase in the performance of employees and identifying the drivers for this key performance. This also helps in the organization by having high performance culture. So we know the value, culture, they are two important words applicable to the organization to ensure effectiveness. So the values attached to the work and the work culture with discipline, with systems, procedures, etc., should be ensured to have better performance. So all these activities related to the organization are helpful to perform the work in a better way, to achieve the effectiveness and ensure efficiency with the employees. Then let us see what is efficient process. By having efficient internal process and smooth operations, which in turn help in sustaining continuity in business with low absenteeism and turnover. So these two important words, absenteeism and turnover, should be considered as important problem for the organization. So in order to avoid such absenteeism and turnover, what should be done? And what is absenteeism? What is turnover? Absenteeism relates to the absence of employees in the workplace as per the requirement. And that may happen, that may take place due to the suffering due to the negligence, due to inefficiency, due to some of the indisciplined activities, due to taking of leave by the concerned employee. So this absenteeism should be avoided, minimized as per the requirement. Then the turnover, another word, which is also important for creating problem for the organizational work. Because if there is frequent change of employees, suppose some new employees have been appointed, they work for 1 month, then they leave the organization due to some disturbances, due to some dissatisfaction, maybe related to wages, salaries paid, or working conditions, or some other problem. Then again in the next month or after some period, another group of employees will be recruited, appointed, and join the organization to perform the work. So this frequent change of employees related to turnover of employees found in the organization should be avoided because that will affect the organizational work, and the work cannot be completed within the fixed time as per the requirement, as per the purpose or objective or goal. So by that, the customers will be dissatisfied if the products, services are not available in time. So that's why efficient process should be ensured to avoid absenteeism and turnover found in the organization to have organizational effectiveness. So, by having the best people practices to mold the organization, in having good culture and competencies of the employees to get required strength, can in turn help the organization for its achievement. So different words found in this sentence related to the practices molding the organization, that means shaping the organization, structure, methods, procedures, etc. To have good culture and to develop competencies among the employees, to ensure proper strength, to help the organization for its achievement of the goal. So this activity, this efficient process should be considered significant by different organizations. Then product and service output. So it is very clear that different organizations may have different types of products, different types of services as the output to be provided to the customers. So here, in case of manufacturing organizations, different finished products produced, maybe leather products, maybe plastic products with different design, different size for different purposes, should be available in time to the customers as per their satisfaction. Similarly, in case of services also, we find different service units providing different kind of service. For example, tourism service. Here we find the transportation facilities, hotel accommodation, etc. So these different types of service facilities required by different customers for different purposes should also be available in time as per the requirement for the satisfaction of the customers. And this product and service output is important factor considered for organizational effectiveness. So this can also be helpful, this can be possible through development of appropriate culture, creation, realizations of the value of the work in the organization, then following of different systems as per requirement, providing reward facilities, and evaluating the work relating to the organization, particularly relating to the effectiveness of the organization. So these are different important facts relating to the product and service output so that the organizations concerned should give emphasis on these product and services output. Then there may be certain organizational objectives which are to be kept in mind for the effectiveness. Different objectives of the organization related to different functions, related to different departments should be analyzed, improved as per the requirement. And certainly we find that certain organizations have their objectives to be fulfilled towards the society. So we can say the social responsibility for the public so that they will have better opinion about the organization concerned because of benefits are available through social responsibility activities. Then the organization should also think of return on investment capital. So the capital, the amount invested towards capital in the organization should have proper return to the organization. Unless there is proper return, the organization cannot continue due to loss, due to bad return on investment. So this return on investment is very important for the organization, and this can be possible through market growth and efficiency. So if we find that there is increasing demand for the product services provided by the organization, there is demand in the market by different customers for different types of products and services, there can be more return on the investment. So the investment will be efficient, effective due to better return through different activities, through more profit, more demand for the products and services. This also helps in creating value of stakeholders. Automatically, there can be goodwill, the good opinion about the organizational activities. Different stakeholders will have better cooperation with the organization. Then there are different strategies for effectiveness. So the strategy related to particular course of action formulated, prepared, and implemented in different organizations for the satisfaction of the customers. The customers should be satisfied with different strategies. Strategies developed for production of good quality products with a design, attractive design, color, etc. Then strategy relating to marketing, supply of the goods produced, products produced to the customers concerned in time as per the requirement in quantity. So these can be helpful to the organization to find effectiveness through different strategies. Strategies are important. So there should be some standards to measure the strategies. If the strategies are found not satisfactory, not effective, then there should be some review process, analysis process to have some changes in the organization regularly, because this is required as per the changes in the situation, in the environment, internal environment as well as external environment. So these are different strategies concerned with the environment, with the changes in the environment, so that there can be organizational effectiveness. Then let us see what quality services, work on quality services. In addition to focusing on the various requirements of the customers in different organizations, one should ensure the performance of required quality services. Just like quality products, quality services should be available. So there may be separate service organizations, there may be services attached to the products, So whenever the customers are provided certain products, the related services should also be available. There should be use of proper technology. In order to sustain in the market, the organization should adopt new techniques, new methods, new machineries for the improvement in the quality of the product, in the quantity of the product, in the design of the product, so that the customers will be satisfied. And these relevant techniques under the use of technology should be given importance for organizational effectiveness. Then there should be building of effective branch. We know that the organization may be having different branches at different places. So the branch activities should also be effective. And there should be proper involvement of the members in different branches. There should be proper recruitment, training, and retaining of competent and motivated staff in different branches. There should be maintenance of proper premises of different branches for the purpose of achieving the goal. And in addition to that, there should be sustained efforts, continuing efforts to improve efficiency and effectiveness in the various activities of different branches. So let us go to the summary. In this unit, the concept of organizational effectiveness, its determinants, and the critical issues in the evaluation of effectiveness have been given importance, have been explained, discussed in brief with some specific actions by looking at the problems of evaluation to have effectiveness, including the effectiveness in the branches of different organizations. So we found that there is overall acceptance of the organizational effectiveness for the overall achievement of the goal of different organizations. Thanking you. Let us close here.